This squad is not joking around. They have recently unveiled a tiny component of their upcoming huge update. However, that is merely scratching the surface. The crypto industry completely lost its mind just today. With hundreds of millions of dollars, BlackRock and other major companies joined in. Of all the cryptocurrency markets, SHIBA stands to gain the most. What, though, is really happening? Furthermore, what am I even referring to? Okay, I'll try to clarify. Important notice. A new issue has arisen today, even as people are still rejoicing over BlackRock's recent triumph over Grayscale, who is referred to as the crypto evil by certain users. In case you were wondering, BlackRock and other firms began to see daily inflows of millions of dollars into their Bitcoin ETFs shortly after the first one was approved. It was widely believed that this marked the beginning of a significant upswing. And not during the bull run. Not only for Bitcoin, but for other cryptocurrencies. I understand now. The reason behind all this enthusiasm is straightforward. The Bitcoin and DEF began receiving daily inflows of hundreds of millions of dollars just days following the ETF's approval. Large investors were finally pouring their money and trust into the cryptocurrency industry as seen by this massive sum. Together with them, typical vendors sell their wares to residents for modest sums of money, much like a tiny farmer's market. As soon as they notice trucks, and not just any trucks, pulling up. On the other hand, with mountains of money, all that cash is waiting to be spent in these vehicles. The farmers are alerted to the impending great event by this unexpected infusion of funds. Similarly, many saw the hundreds of millions of dollars pouring into Bitcoin ETFs as a sign that something big was about to happen. As large sums of money are expected to flood the market, potentially leading to a dramatic increase in the value of cryptocurrencies. Prices. However, an issue has arisen at this point. Grayscale was one of the participants who has substantial Bitcoin holdings prior to the ETF's approval. However, from where did they initially get it? They amassed quite a bit over the years since, as a reminder, they were an early provider of Bitcoin trusts for investment purposes. While BlackRock and others were, even though Grayscale was only beginning to amass their Bitcoin reserves, they already had an enormous amount. Grayscale stunned everyone by unloading right as excitement peaked and Bitcoin influx skyrocketed. Bitcoin valued at hundreds of millions of dollars daily, this resulted in a number of accidents. Institutional investors like BlackRock were quick to purchase Bitcoin, but it was some time before that investment paid off in the form of a higher price. This was due to the fact that Grayscale's heavy selling pressure capped Bitcoin's ascent. Even other cryptocurrencies were unable to break out of their rut since they too followed Bitcoin's lead. Bitcoin did, however, reach fresh all-time highs of over $70,000 as the bulls proved to be invincible. Despite the fact that the majority of cryptocurrencies mimic Bitcoin's actions, one stands out due to its unusual patterns of operation. The SHIBA INU is an extremely sensitive cryptocurrency that affects the most valuable cryptocurrencies in the world. SHIBA INU skyrocket to new heights whenever Bitcoin does, increasing the thrill factor twofold. However, SHIBA INU's value takes a bigger hit when Bitcoin's price falls. The price of a SHIBA INU trebled in a matter of days after it reached a new all-time high. Some folks are still rejoicing on this monumental occasion. Regardless, the event occurred 3 months ago. However, after 3 months, the excitement has subsided. After large price increases, the market sometimes has a cooling down period. Thus, the attention is now directed on an alternative. The approval of the Ethereum ETF came as a complete surprise only 1 week ago. Since trading has not yet begun, the crypto market has not been significantly affected. Nevertheless, anticipation and guesswork are building. What transpired with Bitcoin following the approval of its ETF in January is reminiscent of this scenario. Daily transactions totaling hundreds of millions of dollars caused Bitcoin's value to soar to new records. Curiously, the Shiba Inu community seems to be the most enthralled by the buzz and anticipation surrounding the Ethereum ETF. In the same way that the Bitcoin ETF caused a meteoric rise in the value of Shiba Inus, they are comparing the two and asking, will the Ethereum ETF do the same? Now there's a thought-provoking question. Things start to get intriguing at this point. Many thought the Ethereum ETF would have a far greater and more immediate impact than it really did. Virtual currency. They assumed noticeable results would be visible within a few months. Reason being, once the ETF trading begins, no major participant will be prepared to dump a ton of Ethereum, unlike Grayscale. However, things took a turn today. This became widely publicized today, even though it was already known. A large quantity of Ethereum is also held by Grayscale. Many are appalled by this revelation, and others are even furious. Why? Because they've come to terms with the fact that Grayscale has the ability to inject an Ethereum flood into the market, much like Bitcoin did, reducing the potential for dramatic price spikes and as previously triggering market crashes. Now that we have a better idea of what can happen next, let's analyze the situation thoroughly before drawing any conclusions. Even before the Ethereum ETF was approved, the value of Ether increased by about 1/3. Concerns regarding Grayscale's Ethereum Trust, however, began to loom big shortly after the official acceptance. A key participant in the market, this trust oversees an enormous $11 billion worth of Ethereum. Things start to heat up now. Despite large inflows, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has seen substantial outflows in the last several months. Fears of a recurrence. This scenario have investors on edge. Within a month of spot Bitcoin ETFs receiving approval, Grayscale Bitcoin saw a massive $6.5 billion drain, or 23% of its AUM. If past trends continue, Kiko Research predicts that Grayscale Ethereum could experience daily average outflows of $110 million. We can see what the future holds for the cryptocurrency industry thanks to this analysis, which elucidates the possible effects of Grayscale's engagement. Like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Tony Mateos' Ethereum-focused platform anticipates substantial withdrawals from the Ethereum Trust. But he does note one major distinction between the two. Grayscale had around $30 billion or $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin on hand when the spot Bitcoin and tests were authorized. Grayscale, in contrast, owns just $11 billion worth of Ethereum, which accounts for 2.2% of the market value. Mateos posits that the smaller market share of Grayscale Ethereum could lead to a stronger impact from the ETF and fewer outflows than anticipated. Bear in mind that Mateos is still hopeful regarding. He thinks the Ethereum ETF might follow a similar pattern as Bitcoin, where price drops occurred after the ETF's approval, but then prices started to rise again, potentially driving prices higher. In the long term is the steady flow of capital caused by the adoption of ETFs. Mateos also notes that Ethereum is less harmful to the environment than Bitcoin, which may sway eco-conscious investors to choose the Ethereum ETF instead of Bitcoin. There has been a lot of controversy around the key distinction between Ethereum and Bitcoin in the past, as any long-time crypto trader should recall. The problem with energy use. Even Tesla removed Bitcoin from its cars because of its exorbitant energy consumption. Ethereum is a great option because of its proof-of-stake concept, which is less harmful to the environment. Ethereum ETFs may appeal to conventional investors who are trying to position their portfolios in line with ESG standards due of this viewpoint. Thus, for some, the long-term picture appears bright despite the fact that Grayscale may begin selling off its massive Ethereum holdings as trading begins. Plus, right now, SHIBA INU developers are getting ready for possible benefits. Announcing the release of their Layer 2 scaling solution was not long ago. The Ethereum bridge time was 7 days before, but now it's only 45 minutes thanks to Shibarium. This solves a problem in Ethereum's ecosystem, which is why it's so important. Any changes to Ethereum's infrastructure would have far-reaching consequences. Since it is the foundational blockchain for numerous projects and coins, SHIBA INU included, transactions are made more efficient and quicker by decreasing the time it takes to bridge Ethereum and Shibarium. With the upcoming launch of the Ethereum ETF, this update could not have arrived at a more opportune moment. The Shibarium team made a comment about how user-friendly and efficient it is now. Thus, anticipation is building within the SHIBA INU development team as they get ready for what might be a bull run across the entire cryptocurrency market. However, how do you feel about that? Leave a comment in the section below. Your comment would be greatly appreciated. Subscribing to the channel will keep you informed of any updates. After that, do not forget to select a video from the list that appears. Here we are at the conclusion of this video. Give the video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments if you found it entertaining. Regarding the